not many teams know how to play it like BDS.
Yeah, it is that saying, right? Like, you do not take BDS to club. And just like we used to say, you do not take a Russian team to Clubhouse, like was always portrayed a little bit earlier. But when those two come together, BDS even wins it out at that very moment. So BDS truly know fully well how to play this map. Now, the first ban is coming through. It's going to be a Thatcher. That is going to be slowing down the attack just ever so slightly. Going to be making sure that there needs to be a bit more coordination from the attacking side to open up these breaches, especially with the Maverick to be removed. So what you're looking at now is potentially Cade or a Bandit ban to at least speed up the attack slightly again.
Dun 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 dun. Sorry, I'm so Christmassy today.
We given a song for Easy. That was.
I was. I've just had a drink delivered to me
Very
by
nice.
a wonderful observer, Stefan Easy.
Coming.
I wasn't gonna dox him like that.
Sorry.
I wasn't gonna give away his assassination coordinates like that.
If you want his address, let me know. It's, it's a joke. Solus ban as well.
Solus is banned.
But also the Cade I was talking about.
Is this the first 2 on Solus ban?
Well, we've seen it in Challenge League, but that's tier 2, so I guess yes.
That's why I said tier 1.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Kinda specified.
I know.
Did we see it yesterday? I don't think we did.
No, I don't think we did either.
On either of the 2 maps. Look, it's Christmas Dockerby.
Christmas who?
Christmas Dockerby.
I'm looking for Dokkaebi.
In the top right.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
I thought it was Blackbeard for a second. I was like, I was so confused.
I know, I was playing with you.
All right. Either way. As we started with the base, it is Dokkaebi. It's just, I just thought it was Blackbeard.
Yeah, she's wearing a fake beard.
Yeah.
Did that really throw you?
That really threw me
You're
off.
like the sort of person that would fall for Superman's disguise, aren't you? If someone puts on glasses, you're like, who's that? You're like a dog. You have no facial recognition beyond.
I was so confused. I was looking at the top left. I was like, that's Yana. So
Yeah,
it's not that one. It's the top right. Okay, yeah. No, that threw me off.
Yeah, I'm amazed.
See, this is why there's no skins allowed in competitive, because people like me would just be thrown off.
You would be thrown off.
Yeah.
Now I know entirely.
I would call Blackbeard dead, and then the rest of my team would be, there's no Blackbeard.
Yeah, and then you'd have to sit and have a think about it. We start with BDS leaning in onto their defense here on the side of Club. They're going to see if they can try and get things rolling with this. Steady sort of hold of the extension, as we sort of said, across most of the map. You feel the full stretch of it. You see if you can explore big portions of it. Obviously the site is down all the way on the bottom, but look at this on the top. You have Likefak trying to buy himself as much attention as possible. If he can take out a couple of drones and maybe even a player if he's feeling very lucky, things might start to put into his favor.
I mean, that's it, right? You want to waste as much time as possible, because they've seen it yesterday. MNM, they could get quite slow on their attacks every now and then. If you manage to slow that down even more, your defenses are just going to be holding up way better. A very cheeky angle here, being held, uses, coming around the corner, doesn't quite spot him, drops down just in time. But that means they cannot actually try and pressure him for now. Likefak able to fall back. He's going to go for a bit of a run out, but misses the impact. It's just some slight unfortunate series of events right there that make sure eventually still gets the first kill with Rinchiro, but not as early as they want it.
There it is, a long fight and 2. Solotov did not let go. And he might even try and potentially find a third fight here. Does Alems? Oh no, he's able to take it out there. I was going to wonder, I was going to finish that with, does he know just how quickly this aggressive push is going to come through? But it seemed like he was more aware than what Solotov might have been. Now, the 3 versus 3, a bit of damage and some control rested over the top 2 floors, but they still have destructive work to be done. They've lost some of their soft, but look at what they still have. The sledgehammer can start to crack its way across. It's got the danger of 2 C4s to play against it. Sinella's going to start with a whole story above. Then you've still got Neo, with most of the ex-Kairos able to potentially get through the hatches that they want to, but the wall of pipes might prove a little bit more of a challenge.
Yeah, hatches should be able to be opened up relatively easy. You do have to be careful for those C4s, but that's going to be about it. The thing is, dirt has been left soft. However, it's going to be a long walk for Nello to try and open that up. So I don't think we're actually going to be seeing too much of that. So double X-Scarrows being used there to bait out any of the impacts. None seem to be coming out, as there is none on the board, of course. That means the second set will be used. So the 2 hatches open up. Nello will lose his life though by Shaiko. Users using the EMP impact grenade to mask the drop of the sound of his drop there might be a difference maker, but LM's too quick on that trigger, takes down users, leaves it only up to Neo now.
Yeah, it seemed like BDS had all the awareness of this, the push and the aggression, the wasted time just led to this, a scrappy end scenario. BDS still had 2 players buried back inside the site. They had pretty much control around the early game, although it was a bit scrappy. The mid game got back and forth, and obviously the back of 2 kills shut down for the third. However, MNM just could not quite find the end of the scene. Hey, Hap, who's that at the top right?
It's Blackbeard.
Oh!
No, I see it now.
Incorrect.
I was glancing over it previously, then I missed it, but now I know I cannot miss it anymore.
Attackers need to locate and defuse the bomb.
Jim, anyway, you know, we just continue.
Are you excited to play Snowball?
I am excited to get back to it, yes.
Did you get weirdly competitive with it?
I definitely did.
Yeah.
I was stratting out with my teammates.
Okay.
Not quite formations, but people had their positions, you know?
Yeah.
Sort of goalkeeper.
Did you have any calls on where the locations were?
I mean, you of course like the middle bridge part, and, you know, the pits, and
pits, cool.
Our castle and their castle. So
Oh.
it wasn't too advanced on our calls there, because I was mostly playing it with randoms. So you need to be very descriptive in your calls.
Hey, I hope everybody else's Snowball experience is going good.
It
would have been cool to have us commentate it. I know I said this before, and I'm sure they've done a wonderful job. I haven't actually played the new one. They did a wonderful job last year. However, imagine having, if you're playing Snowball at home, Tim calling your plays out, going crazy when you hit like a 2K with snowballs.
That would be it.
That'd be the dream.
That'd be the dream.
That'd be so cool. Ubisoft, if you're listening, if there's another Snowball next year,
Just you know
where
some
to find
ideas
us.
out there.
You know where to find us. Anyway. Jim, 30 seconds have passed, and BDS, they still have a bit of a stretch, but it's a very different hole. It's one where you sort of stretch across the top floor, waste the time on the back end, waste some of the utility drive, and it's down to MNM to see if they can break across it. A long-range play there with the Gun 6. They want to force out Bride's bandit tricking, but it's Solotov underneath that gets the opener there. Inside kitchen, finds the back ender, and Shiro opens up some stretch in logistics, but look at this. A quick rotate round. They're going to see if they can try and rebuild against it. Alems playing the hyper-aggressive game right now in that he's just looking for a fight. He played it on the previous round. He did it fantastically at the major they took, and here Neo, he's a bit stuck waiting for some of the appearance of a support structure.
Now there is going to be 2 EMP impacts they can use. However, Bride still has an extra battery in his pocket. Needs to be juggling that one around well. Lems might be finding a grenade underneath. No, that's going right into the vault. As the impact EMPs are being used, the Selmas will be removed. However, the extra thermic will blow up. So a breach has been made, and that will allow MNM to put pressure onto the bathroom now and try and see if they can find Bride in a result.
Yeah, perfect way of sort of demonstrating how you can take care of that. They didn't want to try and risk the pressure onto any utility that might be tucked in the corner. So instead, just burn the utility on the wall itself. 1-on-1, you've got that to utilize it. Most of the walls here are ones where you're sort of getting them cracked open, as they already have done. The calls come through. Bit of pressure here up the main stairs. Tyrant suffers as he just loops around the opening that was made a long time ago. Just saw the edge of a firefight, but it's Bride that pops up, gets one, can't get the rest of the drone, but Shaiko, he suffers next from Nello on the breach and the breakthrough. They're inside the bathroom. They're out of the bathroom now, and he's looking for one more Bride, but it's the grenade from Tyrant that gets the connection. Likefak, he's going to see if he can get that long arm stretch with the Lems, getting some control back over the stair set. It's now a fight, but it's users on the back end of logistics that pinches the man. 2 versus 1, 30 seconds. Likefak's in a bit of a tricky situation that he's tucked on the equipment, but he cannot quite get users, who had all the awareness there. One apiece.
Good pre-fire there coming out from users, spotted out the legs, went for the head right after. I was going to say, Likefak in quite a good position in the gym, has that door barricaded off. He knows when they need to go for that plant. Just had to hope he was quicker on the trigger than the MNM players, which wasn't the case. Managed to take their first offensive round. Now back to bar stage. We're not headed to CCTV. And this has been a recurring theme we've had within the European League. More and more teams are starting to opt out of going towards CCTV cache.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to explain usually, but, you know, let's just toss it in there. It's just that, you know, that site has been attacked over 1,000 times in Pro League. Everybody knows how to deal with it. And it's basically almost unwinnable if you're playing against an attacking team that knows exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, that's the sort of baseline of it, really, is knowledge. Is of all the sites and all the gin joints in the whole world, it's got to be this one, Sam. It's got to be the one that you know the best. And it is probably, for a lot of people's money, the site that, if you were to say what is the most default attack of a site that's known, CC. Across all the maps, across all the comp maps, across maybe even some of the spicy out there maps.
And let's talk about ranked, casual, unranked. Like the entire player base almost knows how to attack that site, which is why it's slowly starting to fall out of that popularity.
You always see it as well. You always see the first rotate off is what's known. You have to play a bit unexpected. Talking of, look at that. Straight to the bubble on the back line. Solotov, he went for a long drive and was rewarded at the very end of that. Flores gets some early work done on a bit of a pocket and a chance at some utility.
Mujam, I believe, was being placed there by Liquefac, which is why Solotov had the opportunity to move through. He's doing more with the RC terrorists, creating rotations. This is exactly what we talked about with Flores being such a versatile operator. You can basically use him for intel, for removing gadgets, for removing players, creating rotation holes. He literally does everything. And LM's even said back in the day when he just was released that they believe Flores was the most powerful attacking operator in the game at that moment in time. Now, they've not really played it as much ever since, but, you know, MNM is not afraid to use it against BDS now by literally just tearing apart the entire defense that has been set up on that first floor.
I mean, look at this, though. They only really have EFAC that's close in a position to swing directly. The other players have all got themselves propped up vertically. BDS is sort of watching from the top down, and now they're all up there. Every single member is in a position where they sort of say, okay, great, they can do as much as they want. But we have this, the control. There's a quick swing round, the break there onto the bubble, I believe. Maybe another Gone 6 that might have just popped into corner here from the line. As the pressure comes through, they're going to see if they can go for something right under the smoke. Solotov, he's going to try and lock it out. Shaiko's above, and Nello, he's just going to hold F, and, well, he gets it stuck. BDS, they take the drop, and now he's going to see if he can just hold the corner. Do they know? Nello,
they don't know,
swing,
they don't know, they don't know!
Swing, Nello,
they don't know!
No! What? BDS! And look at Shaiko! Even he doesn't truly understand what happened.
This is a ninja plant into a ninja defuse.
Oh my god! That was all within about 20 seconds from start to finish, both plant and defuse. Wow, that is not often seen.
Telestrator, please. That's all I'm going to be saying to the analysts back in the green room. But what happened there is, you know, full top floor controls being held by BDS. We all know how important it is for bar and stage, but you still need some verticality. That's what was lacking, and allowed MNM to go for the plant eventually in that smoke. But that same smoke and explosives going off at other places of the map masked the sound of Shaiko dropping and going for that defuse. They were unable to hear that sound prompt go through. And that is just an instant win coming in. Even though MNM, they set it up quite well, took care of a lot of the utility, realized BDS is all upstairs, so all you need to do is put the line out onto the highway, watching through that hatch on construction. The plant should be safe at that time. And it was, it definitely was. But then everybody pulled a bit too far away. No one actually had an eye on that diffuser, and the sound cues did not really prove trustworthy there due to the explosions again going off.
Did they?
Well, again, explosions were happening.
No, there was a lot going on, sure, but like,
it's also like 2 meters away from it.
Just,
so
just the pace of that was comedy gold. All right, we loop back around. BDS, they find themselves one round ahead on the rotation in the split, and it's probably one that MNM might beat themselves up about a little bit later. But sometimes you take a chance, sometimes a chance is taken against you. They start as they did before. With this clear over the top, we remember it got quite scrappy before things really started to cook together, and even then it was on the back of a double kill that MNM were able to pull themselves towards. So they've gone with a slightly different approach, in that Tyrant, he's already tucked himself into Garage, they're getting a lot of pressure here onto the mid floor, and they're letting only a couple of players go for the clear and the push on the top.
making sure there's not too many players out there. They know that they need to be moving down as well, so you don't want to be falling into the trap of having everybody out at different places. Just let the drones do the work, right? Like, let the drones clear everything out, have 1 or 2 players behind it to follow up in case there is someone out there, and then, with 90 seconds left on the clock, they should be able to start opening up. However, Likefak has decided to hide himself near the strip club, and as these hatches are going to be opening up, he has the luxury to just wait, and I think that's exactly what he's going to be doing. As he slowly creeps back towards the battlefield, there is a camera hidden inside that jukebox. That is going to be crucial for this flank to come through. They know exactly where these players are going to be at. Likefak, he could just get 2 kills for free here.
I mean, what a great place for a camera that expect to see this in your games at home, people. Because it's about to be...
Oh my god.
Devastating. There's one, there's two, and there's Likefak straight out of there, and they have no idea the heist of a century has just been pulled against them. 45 seconds. He's back in the club, sitting alone in the VIP, and he's waiting for somebody to see if he can, I guess, bring them some pressure.
This is so smart. He opens it up with the impact, but he's not actually challenging it. He's wanting them to come to him. He's challenging them, like, come and get me. I don't need to go.
It's still pinged.
They know exactly where they are.
This camera is going to be stolen. There's no two ways about it. This camera is going to be in everybody's game from this point onwards if Falc's on the board because of just how much distraction. There's 15 seconds and they're hunting a player inside strip because they have no other choice. There's 4!
Oh, Likefak.
Is he going to end this round on an ace? It's 8 seconds, and at this point I think it's only if Neo tries to find the fight, he's going to pull himself back. He's not going to give him that kind of gift this early in the holidays. But I mean, what a play.
That is a perfect Valkyrie camera out there. It is also perfect trigger discipline from Likefak, first of all. And the timeout is being requested by MNM after that one, because what we've just seen is a round where Shaiko just, like, steals it. He's, okay, smoke, that's fine, I'll defuse. And after that, Likefak, who is dubbed the new GOAT by Fresh, and also had an amazing rookie stage, just gets a quad kill like that, backed on his own information that he's gathering. And MNM, they need to have a little bit of a chat because, well, that isn't going too great so far. They want to get themselves a second and maybe even a third round on the attack to find themselves in a fighting position for the second half. But for now, that is not looking like that is going to be happening.
Yeah, that's a way of putting it. I mean, it's kind of built itself into a situation here where, I mean, you have to give credit to BDS before I say anything else.
You do, yes.
The plays that they're putting together are really well put together. However, there's also a big element of pluckiness about it. The ninja diffuse into the back there of one sneaky camera. It's like one very great thing is falling into place, and they haven't quite been able to find the break against it.
Mm.
Whereas MNM, they're doing these structured takes. Okay, they're on attack. That's sort of more their job. It gives you more of a direction and that you've got to play more into the game. But at the same time, I mean, it must be frustrating for MNM that they're on the back and, they don't know about that camera. They don't know how things went wrong. They just know it did. And it felt a bit too easy.
Now, if you haven't seen, we are headed into a rehost. There's a graphical bug on the screens for MNM. So we're just quickly getting that sorted out, and then we're getting back into the game. So you might be wondering, no, Coach is not allowed to talk to the players right now. He just had his 45 seconds. This is just going to be a timeout for the players here whilst they are rejoining the server. We'll allow them to continue discussing on what was going wrong. Or just like Shaiko, he's just going to be checking the TL, seeing what if the ninja diffuse has been posted yet, so he can type a little haha with that.
Haha, lol.
But then in a French accent, of course. But yeah, no, I mean, we have to say MNM in that round where they attacked Bar Stage, they looked under control. They managed to take what was necessary. They got rid of the utility that needed to be cleared out. They got the plant down. Up until that point, everything was perfect. They had the cover. They knew exactly where they needed to be. And then it all fell apart. By Shaiko next to the door frame, diffusing. And And I'm not sure if they heard one or two of those ticks and then didn't hear the others due to other sound cues coming through, like the explosions, the impact grenades that were being tossed in by the defense. And that's why they didn't peek, or it was something else. Again, here, Liquefac.
And it was all telegraphed. I mean, it's
beautiful.
It was just great team coordination. He knew exactly when they were going for the swing. He had the calls. He had that opener, as you said, to sort of draw the ire and attention away. And, you know, MNM, they sort of find themselves in a situation where they maybe expected Jim. Obviously, you could see a massive repick that comes across the board. Grim was originally there, but I don't know if that was just a timeout there, as it can somehow happen at the minute.
Could be. But Monty is going to be a very, very signature pick for a clear like this. This is MNM not wanting to deal with any weird strategies being tossed at them by BDS. What they're going to do is get Monty in Garage, just pushing them up the rafters. You're going to be clearing out those players without any issue. That is going to be that goal. Then you have Garage under control. We talked about how this is like one of the most known sites to attack. That's one of the steps. You need Garage control. But the first is to open up the breach that we're currently looking at. Solotov ready to wait. Neo is able to put that extra thermic down at any given moment, but they need users there as well. You do not want to go for just a single breach at that point, unless you know that there is going to be no active Bandit. Now, Bandit is not on the board, so they will not know until they've droned it out. I guess that's just what they're waiting for right now, as you see users on that drone just gaining some ground. And instantly the opening comes afterwards, so they're acting quickly on their information.
Well, there it is. The break comes across the wall that always falls. You can see, as I said, the Monty replacing the door, and the door gets smashed out. So they can sort of rotate their way back around. The Azami can give themselves the structure if they want it, to try and survive for as long as possible. The pressure's going to come in underneath as well. They're going to see if they can draw it across. You can see Tyrant, he's making a bit of a motion and trying to upset the Ocean, but with those ADSs, with the Azami and with Renshiro potentially in a position to gets the catch at the end there. Neo caught out by the wide swing. They step in and Nello might find themselves isolated. Builds the wall behind him. Yep. Very clever play. Psycho gets the double in the meantime. They pop out the door. They're somehow able to get one more. And that was just, okay, for what I called in previous rounds as those little moments. The Azami to block the Monty.
It's great.
It's brilliant. It's just fun Siege to watch. It's the Siege that you want to watch from the reigning major champions.
They're also the reigning European League champions. They are looking to re-gild their throne in the trailer. And of course, get the trophy as well. And again, we go for a quick break as it's 1-4 for BDS. Need to get that all sorted. And we just wait. But what you mentioned, like, first of all, like, being in that spot, underneath the steps, you can see underneath the barricade, you see the feet coming through, you get that kill. Yep. All right, that's great. I mean, that happens. Sometimes you need to be able to deal with that. Monty pushing in and instantly the keeper barrier coming out, like you're stuck with us now. A teammate needs to come and help you. And as soon as he opens up the keeper barricade, someone runs out of the breach to instantly take the fight back to them. Like, that's just that coordination of BDS and just showing the world that they know every in and out of Clubhouse.
I mean, it's just well put together Siege.
It is.
It's just Siege that, as I said, it feels cool. It feels calm. It feels, I'm not going to say perfect, because I think that's a very rare word that you should use.
It's definitely not perfect. I mean, Plants Against Them.
Yeah. But it's got this sort of level of sheen to it that you want to see from a team, because, and this is going to be one of the most like understated worst things. Okay, you've won a major, but go win SI. It's like, but that's the thing, and they need that level of sheen. That's the difference maker. And the fact that they're sort of displaying it at this point, they've obviously got as much time after this as any team heading into SI to get things pieced together. MNM, they're on the wrong side of this, and that's just a matter of the fact. As I said, they've had good team play. They've had good moments. You can see the ideas coming together, and they're starting with the brace on attack on club, where those moments have to come together. But one stick through the spokes can stop the whole cart. And that is sort of what they're struggling with right now.
The thing is as well, though, right? Like, we all expect BDS to take Clubhouse. That's just almost a given. You see BDS and Clubhouse, it's like, okay, that one is going to be won by BDS. That's almost always how you think about it. MNM, they will notice. They bend their maps, had to go to Clubhouse. The other two maps will suit them a bit more against BDS, I think, than Clubhouse does. So to some extent, it's survival. Trying to make sure you do not get beaten too hard. Make sure that the mental stays up. Something, for example, we saw with the Unlimited against 10-Star, where the first loss came in and 10-Star wasn't able to fight back against Unlimited anymore right afterwards. That's something they need to prevent from happening. And of course, MNM, they've gone to majors. They have been playing in the European League now for a bit. So they have that experience to go with it. They have that resilience as well. But still, you don't want to be beaten like, let's say, 7-1, for example, on Clubhouse. Because, again, it is a map of basics. It is a map that BDS often wins, but it doesn't mean it never gotten close. And as we wait until we get going again.
Back in a moment.
Back in just a couple of seconds or minutes. Don't know.
I mean, it was a sort of perfect response there from BDS as well. They're a team that I actually really like how they respond to a timeout call by another team. For me, they try and break expectation, and it's a harder thing to, I guess, call on a map like Club, where you will often see all 4 sites picked and utilized, but they like to sort of go, they've called a timeout, they want to talk about the round ahead, let's turn what we're doing on the head. If there's a rhythm, regardless of what it is, if you look at any of the times that a team takes a timeout against BDS, very, very often, you'll see them pick a offsite, or you'll see them pick a different site to what's expected on what might be open or what might not be open. And I think that's always something that I've quite liked about them here. They get one more swing round on bar where a fate was cruelly decided by two very sneaky players.
The BDS surely is going to be finding themselves some adaptations as well. They know they basically dodged a bullet with that Ninja Defuse coming in, right? Like, they also know that round probably would have been MNM's if they acted on Shaiko going for that defuse. I mean, the early round was all MNM's, that they were able to open up whatever they needed to get opened up. They got the plan down. Normally, when you have 5 players still left alive at that moment, that should be a round win, but not the case this time. But surely BDS is going to be playing a bit more reserved now, a bit more actually on the side itself, at least I hope so, to stop that from happening and make sure that they bring the aggression there where needed in time. Now, there's no Flores this time on MNM's side, so they're going to have to get rid of utility in a different way. That means Brede has a bit more free reign with his cameras, able to take out drones, for example. Solus had them then.
Yeah, it's obviously more of a familiar game because the removal of Solus is something where, you're sort of like, ah, but at the same time, it's still early days for Solus, especially as there's an importance to this game that varies with the importance of where we might have seen her. We saw her played a fair bit yesterday. Mixed success across the whole day, I think it's fair to say, because it's early. And you're not seeing League play. You're not seeing Renshiro this round either. Tyrant, very quick into construction. Alems isn't too far away. There's a player either side of him, though. That's the sort of danger. When you're between this, Shaiko and an Alems place, how do you act? For now, Tyrant's going to sit and wait for a call.
Now, construction is very important to hold on to because it will enable a plan to happen, and I think that's what the rest of MNM is starting to work around to now. However, Tyrant, he could be double swung at any given moment because they know he's out here. It's about to get very close. It's Shaiko to run past, but surely the player on the bedroom side should be going for a bit of a swing now. No, Shaiko again going through, but he falls eventually, and Alem's not there to help his teammate. It's going to be meaning that BDS is now 2 men down.
Yeah, different approach here over the side, and you wonder if this was the team talk direction that they wanted to have. Expecting this to be the side, the swing comes across. There it is, Brede on the door, and Alems from the logistics side, and they're able to at least take care of Tyrant and maybe try and bite back some of this verticality. However, with just under a minute left, and Nello going to see if he can try and plant the kit slightly deeper, a slightly different position. Alems finds Nello though, and as you said it, Warden had the cover on the smoke. He's looking for the fight. Cannot quite find it. Users gets the angle. And Liquefact gets one back on the stairs. The 2 versus 2. The Maestro cam's doing a bit of damage and work. Maybe some attention or a drone that was caught out, but it wasn't done to the player. Maybe just a statement piece of saying 30 seconds. What are you going to do?
Heard the warding glasses activate there as the smokes came through. Good adaptation, but the diffuser will be recovered. They can see though, but they bash that camera, so that information has been taken out. Lots of damage done though from above. Now you have Liquefact coming up from behind as well as the cam starts snapping, gets the injury onto users. It's a 1 and 2 now with 12 seconds on the board and the diffuser down. Solotov needs to make a guess. He guesses wrong. Liquefact gets that final 2 kills, and that's BDS with yet another round on the board.
Camera is only blind for the time the doors are shut. And there was a bit of scrap damage that was done on the collection of the kit. Obviously would have aided in what was the down there from the Maestro bubble. 5-1. BDS find themselves peeling further and further away here on this, the opening half. Now they've got to see if they can try and just push it over the edge. MNM, they obviously have used their timeout. They've only got the road ahead to see if they can try and root something. But it has been a very rocky road to get here for them.
So far, yes, definitely has been. So again, this map is a bit of survival, making sure that you have the opportunity to strike back in the next 2, take it with that 2-1 victory. Not saying MNM has lost already, however, BDS is one of those teams where they rarely lose Clubhouse, and MNM are fully aware of it. They're truly trying to test BDS, but BDS too strong so far. But the attacks are coming through, and they're defending the basement. That is a difficult side to get through. You need to often rely on these hatches, and if a MNM roamer goes unseen, we might just get a bit of a repeat of what we saw Liquefact do earlier on. So BDS, they need to make sure they drone everything very carefully before they start approaching that site, but again, not lose too much time in the process.
Alright, MNM, as I said, the mantle and the pressure of being the pushers is something that you had in the first half. Now it's been taken over, the baton's been handed, and BDS have a lot of room for error here. The start is going to be a quick check with the Nook. They're still getting some breach over the top, but there's not really anyone from MNM close. Tyrant is the only loose thread, playing himself around the brick stairs on the far end, waiting for anything a bit closer, but they're not going to find him as of yet as they shape themselves up around blue. Efac's going to be the one that sort of steps his way towards it, but he's hot droned ahead, and he's playing himself in the element of surprise.
Ooh, he might be seeing his army now. That is going to be the instant response from Liquefact to come through. Clinical as they take down Tyrant, and that is going to be an opening kill. Very important here for BDS. I think MNM, they wanted to, you know, make something happen, at least waste some time, get that first kill, but instead they lose out on it. That means BDS now have 2 minutes left to do all the prep work they need and instantly go back towards the side afterwards to find a plant, potentially. So, you know, MNM, they need to fight back now. They need to go aggressive as BDS is going to be opening up. You cannot afford to give them any space. As soon as they start dropping motorcycle, as soon as they are on the same horizontal level as you, that is when you're going to be struggling.
Well, both hatches pop off in a cacophony of danger. The third for good measure here as BDS are doing a lot of work with a lot of pace. MNM, they can only sort of sit and wait and feel the hatches batten and break against the top of them as they start to suffer the wrong end of it. Neo, he's keeping an eye and a watch down Oil and the swing of blue. Shaiko is going to be the first to get in close here on the opposite side, and the Vector can be a laser in this sort of engagement, so they've pulled themselves back, but Pipes has fallen. Liquefact, he's tucked himself in. Ranchero is the one that gets the kill on the end of it, and they're still sort of holding on and trying to piece together just where the push is. They've entirely had to leave Armory as a site and a side. They've pulled themselves out of it. The top isn't safe for them, but there it is. Look down, Nello's able to get one, slips his way back round, 40 seconds, and they find one off of the end of it, but they're still causing so much damage here.
Now they know of the mirror window that's inside blue, so they cannot directly push that. They need some distraction so they can drop through the hatch and instantly try and challenge that player. That's what Shaiko's waiting for. Brede and Liquefact now looking to go in. A lot of wallbang damage going through into users. They're hoping to execute upon it. Ranchero gets one. Liquefact follows up. It's only up to Neo now on that mirror as the plant's going down. A beautiful hatch shot onto the main stairs, but Shaiko above on the hatch will shut him down. And that means BDS now on map point already. After their very first attack, that's the basement taken care of. And I just have to say, I liked what Shaika did there earlier on. He ran inside blue solid mirror window. He's like, nope, we're not pushing through here. I'm going to be holding this from above. We'll let the execute happen elsewhere, near triple wall. And that's exactly what they did. They pushed through, and they managed to find a success. And that is the strength of BDS. When they haven't quite opened up everything they need to open up, they just pull a trigger, and it works out for them.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they
So, you know, we were talking about this might run the risk of being another two-map affair.
Yeah, could definitely do.
It almost has to be the opposite of the game that we had earlier on today, where the first map was neck and neck, and the second was a bit of a wash.
It was a bit of a blowout.
Bit of a blowout.
Yes.
Here, we maybe find ourselves on the other end of that. It's down now. MNM to have a flawless rest of this game, pretty much. If they want to... Well, if they want to get to OT, they've got to flawless the rest of this half. If they want to get to the end of the game, there's only one other round that can be dropped across the entirety. So at this point, it is do or die. And then you know that you're leading in, obviously, to your map pick next, but it's Theme and you're starting on attack.
Yeah, that's why I was saying to you earlier on, like this could be another 2-0 coming through if BDS handle Clubhouse quickly, which is definitely something they're trying to do right now. Barricade and camera taken out, instantly putting up the pressure onto the main stairs as well. They're aware of the bomb site. They're instantly trying to cut down some of the rotations defenders might go for. But if you take a look at your right-hand side of the screen, you see that Ying. You cannot help but think there's going to be at least some form of aggression coming through. That could either be around the construction area where they try and instantly push through. It could be through any of the hatch drop downs into the direct side, or maybe even bathroom where the mirror windows are located. Just so many places you can use these candelas and then try and find yourself with some extra success.
Now the important walls that start to get popped open are these, the conjoinment of construction. We talked about how it is a bit of a big play space when you're trying to separate this top floor, regardless of whether you're going for the take and the plant on the top floor or the play below. Either way, it comes with a lot of attention, comes with a lot of focus. The drones and the blinds come off the opposite side. Solotov, he's looking to see if he can maybe get a fight on the back of it, but you can see that they're still droning. The Ying has no immediate rush. It's something BDS can do, is they know when to put the pressure on, know when to pull it slightly off. Neo, talking of, he's trying to find the right little pocket of pressure to get a swing into it, but he needs something else. There's a grenade that's about to roll here close, not close enough, and Alems is actually the first to find one. There it is, the swing round, the big breach, and look at what is suddenly free. They've been forced off the site, the pressure onto logistics, and Bride finds Tyrant, the start of what is turning into the end. User stops, and Solotov and User suddenly find ones in and amongst the mix, retake an important bit of territory. Alems swings on the top of the brick stairs. Solotov now all that's left, gets a great connection and has the yellow pings on that final player. Smokes himself one cover in a rotation. There's a bulletproof that's giving some of the game away. He's got the mirror window offering himself some support as well. He's forcing the fight to happen in a bit of territory where he has all the intel, or he's forcing Shaiko, who's going to have and somehow take the trade. MNM get the round. I was about to say gonna have to take the fight at less health. If he had a bit more, that might have been all she wrote.
That would have been it, but due to the tiebreaker rules inside of a game, defense always wins a trade situation unless that diffuser is planted. So due to the fact that that wasn't the case, MNM live another round. A beautiful clutch to come through to provide themselves a bit of an extra lifeline. But that was way too close for comfort there. That was a trade, and, you know, maybe BDS a little bit, you know, annoyed by that, but it's going to be all it is, just a slight annoyance that they haven't been able to lock it off yet. MNM going back towards the basement though, hoping to hold on to it this time. No mirror on the board, as it has been dealt with quite well by BDS. Choosing to go for different options. You see the Goyo on users, for example. It's going to be able to put some fire down in that room as soon as the pressure gets a bit too hot. So you see it onto some of the immediate entrance points that BDS would like to take, possibly, just to make sure that that will be slowed down ever so slightly.
5 seconds remaining.
So it seems like a quite heavy row. Mozzie, Vigil, Mute, all up on that top floor. They're hoping to waste some time of BDS here, but, you know, the thing is, they're 4 rounds ahead. If they realize this, might just go straight for site.
I mean, I said they sort of had to be flawless, and he physically could not get closer.
Yeah, could not get closer than
Could
that.
not get closer to a round going away from you than what we've just seen. MNM by the skin on the skin of their teeth keep themselves in this map. Shaiko takes a fair chunk of damage there as he's caught in the fire on the breach and the breakthrough. Tyrant, I mean, he's playing with those bars. Does he know how close they are? Just on the other side, it's a very aggressive position. They seem to have some awareness. Bride wants to swing at the same time as the pressure, the calls come together. There's the drone confirmation, and there is the right time for Tyrant to leave.
Trying to fall back here, but Shaiko already in quite deep. Leak Effect will find users, and you see that these rotations back towards the actual site are being covered off a BDS member. So what they've done is basically created an MNM sandwich here, with some down on the side, some up top, and they are going to be right in between, but they are actually the ones successful. Leak Effect finds a second kill. Nitrocell used in the attempt of potentially taking someone out onto Raptors, but no one's out there. And now you have one person on the side and two still left up top. BDS, they might just call to go for the side directly and overwhelm that one person.
I mean, there's another connection there. LMs, he's been so consistent throughout this showing so far, but to be fair, who from BDS hasn't? They've been able to at least find some of the space back down to the site, but now they're coming into the back of a fight. A flawless to end what has been a dominating display here on Club. They really took the idea that this is our map and rode it all the way to the bank. 7-2. And MNM, they're going to have a heck of a team talk.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have a bit of a chat there to make sure they are going to be right back into the mental for that second game, because again, it's going to be a rough start for them. They will be starting off on the attack on Theme Park. It's not going to be ideal being a map down, but it is not over yet. There's still a lot to fight for here. I'm sure MNM want to go all in.
Not being ideal is a bit of an understatement.
Trying to stay positive.
For the map that we just saw, no. That was one of those ones where you've got to take the biggest mental reset afterwards.
Yes.
And you have to look towards your pick. And you have to sort of say, that was theirs, this is ours. Let's prove it in the same way. But before we get there, we have a break and our desk.